What a week of football, ladies and gentlemen. I am back. We put 6 past Ipswich. City fans were cheering. We are back, and then we got Dembele'd. And then Robert Sanchez saves the day.
If City win the case, there are no rules. There are no rules anymore.
So the whole concept of PSR
it's just gone.
is obliterated.
It's just gone because you know, the authority of the Premier League will be utterly destroyed. I don't see how...
You know that City is doing well when stuff like this appears on your timeline.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
If City win, there are no rules. No, it just means an independent panel deemed it worthy to say that Manchester City didn't violate any rules. Whatever happened to the presumption of innocence? Whenever it's City, it's always guilty until proven innocent, but for everybody else, it's the other way around. You haven't done anything, you haven't proven anything. If we were found innocent, that means we didn't violate the rules. That means the rules aren't corrupt or rigged. What the fuck are you talking about?
How confusing for all of us!
Right now, I feel! What do you feel?
Women, when they find out their boyfriends are gooners. Alright, next up we got a tweet that I found pretty interesting. We're going to do this all in one take, all of this very quickly. We're going to put on our thinking caps here. Which is the most difficult out of these 6 options? Looking around, I definitely have some ones that I want to eliminate straight away. Three-peating the UCL. When you have the refs in your pocket and you're Real Madrid, it's easy as shit. 9 years unbeaten at home. That is astronomical. 13 Premier League titles. It's easy to do that when you have the highest wage bill and, you know, breaking record transfers every year. You don't like it when it's said about you, don't you? 4-peating the Premier League. No, Manchester United 3-peated, so not as hard as the other ones. 51 games unbeaten in all competitions. That is pretty difficult. Most UCL wins are... I'm gonna knock that straight out. That's out. 13 Premier League titles is out. 4-peating the Premier League is out. When you're in the league for that long, having that amount of power and budget and influence on referees, you can win 13 Premier League titles, alright? 3-peating the UCL is out. So it's between 51 games unbeaten and 9 years unbeaten at home. I honestly think, and I'm not just saying this because I'm wearing a Chelsea jersey, 9 years unbeaten at home. That is crazy. How many home games do you play like in a season or like in a year? About 25 to 30 games? 30 home games in a year? Times 9, 270 games without losing. That's the most difficult.
Perfect.
Oh, for fuck's sake! So that twatting goal! Oh my god! It is absolute shit! What an absolute prat!
It's so fake, it's so fake, it's so funny that people actually believe this shit. It's so funny. Masterbucks here, shout out to Masterbucks. When I was playing FIFA 13, when I was 13 years old, I would always watch his career modes with Newcastle. Shout out to him. Yeah, he's basically saying what everybody pretty much has noticed over the last several years. This guy watches these games on a 10-second delay, and he exaggerates everything. It's obvious. If you don't know, now you know. Goalkeepers, who's the greatest? Let's look at the 6 options here. Look, I'll be honest with you, these aren't just the only 6 options, because I'm looking at this is very recent. Everybody here is pretty much, besides Lev Yashin, has played in the last, 10 years? That is why is Thibaut Courtois here? Kevin De Bruyne would have a fucking heart attack looking at this list. My dad would also have a heart attack looking at this list. Why? No Dino Zoff. Do you not know who Dino Zoff is? He's one of the most legendary goalkeepers of all time. This is a pretty easy decision. It's Lev Yashin. Of all the goalkeepers I've seen in my life, you could say Manuel Neuer is the best, but if I was making my all-time team, I would choose Iker Casillas. Comment down your GOAT goalkeeper down in the comments down below. I want to hear your opinion. So far, Mohamed Salah, 22 goals, 17 assists. This might be a little bit inaccurate because this was a couple days ago. I think he might have 23 goals. Rafinha, 22 goals, 11 assists. Ballon d'Or contenders putting on a show. Rafinha has been absolutely mint. Okay, I think Mohamed Salah is still the clear favorite to win the Ballon d'Or. It would be exciting to see a Middle Eastern player win it. That would be absolutely insane. All right, second best Egyptian player in the league right now. I would say Rafinha is... I don't think he's at Mohamed Salah's level, but Rafinha has been absolutely exquisite. Probably the best winger in La Liga this season. And of course, let me know your opinion down in the comments down below. Who is the frontrunner for the Ballon d'Or? Who do you want to see win it? Ugh, this game was absolutely frustrating to watch. Giving up a 2-goal lead. We're 24th Man City, 9 points, 25th PSG, 8 points. It was absolutely embarrassing. One of the biggest capitulations this season, and that is not honestly. It's pretty on theme here with with Brentford, with Feyenoord, with Sporting, with Manchester United. I mean, the list goes on and on. I watched the game. I was so pissed off for Kevin De Bruyne. Okay, it was definitely not his fault. Erling Haaland, great positioning. Bernardo Silva with probably one of the worst games of his entire career at Manchester City. I mean, like I said, this is a guy that I love. He's a legend of our club. He's one of the best players we've ever had. But he does escape a good amount of criticism. I'm not saying we should all hone in on him, but he was awful that game. He really, really was. Do I really care too much? No, because he bounced back, okay, against Chelsea. But regardless, that was pitiful. We have to beat Club Brugge at home. I think they're 19 games unbeaten. And I think PSG are playing Stuttgart, which are, I think Stuttgart are right above Manchester City, I believe. And honestly, regardless of what happens in that game, if we win, we go through to the knockout stages or the playoffs. Okay, and honestly, I would take that.
I got no place else to go.
Almost certainly the greatest goal scorer that Manchester City have had. However, when you look at the signing of Erling Haaland, to me, it seemed like a deal with the devil. Manchester City had a perfect team. They had a perfect team apart from a number 9 who could score goals. They bought Erling Haaland for 53 million, the best 53 million they'll ever spend, and in the first season they won the treble. But in doing so, they've reshaped the entire team. Because Erling Haaland is not a Manchester City player. He's not got a good touch. He's not particularly quick. He doesn't press well. He can't...
The Haaland hate is so over-exaggerated. It's so pathetic. It's embarrassing. I just looked at this guy's page. He is a reporter, journalist, and he's a Manchester City fan. The fact that he's saying all of this is just actually quite sad, in my opinion. It's quite pathetic. Not particularly quick. What are you watching? Do your eyes work? He doesn't press. It's professional football. You don't need strikers to press the ball 24/7. We're not a Geigen-pressing team. Relax. You can't pass the ball? Oh, well, in that treble-winning season that you mentioned, more assists than Harry Kane in the Premier League, by the way. I'm not asking him to be Xavi. Remember that chip pass to Grealish for that one-on-one against Spurs? He's had so many passes like that. People are expecting Xavi and Iniesta type passes from him. People are expecting... He's not a Romario type of player. Short, good on the dribble, good at finishing. No. He's a tall, strong, powerful striker that can run at defenses. When he says that he's not a Manchester City type of player, that really exaggerates the whole notion of City before Guardiola, because we were never a Manchester City team before Guardiola. He is not a Guardiola type of player. Tiki-taka was never Manchester City for the last 100 years. Pretty recent. A deal with the devil. A deal with the devil. 2 league titles. 2 top scorers. Top scorer of the Champions League, FA Cup. He might actually win his 3rd golden boot in the Premier League for a 3rd consecutive season. Have any of you deeped how mad that is? Deal with the devil, man. I don't give a shit if he can't pass the ball like Xavi or Iniesta. What are you waffling about?
You're all fucking morons.
People, we're in... Oh, I can't believe it. We're in Paris for City versus PSG. I'm on the streets and we've just seen the entire United squad, the entire Man United squad is just chilling in Paris. On the streets, it's mad.
Hey, look at this. Erling Haaland on Cocoa Puffs and Phil Foden staring down at Chalupa. That was absolutely beautiful. I wonder if Phil Foden thought of that while he was doing it, all right? Because Cocoa Puffs definitely deserved it. All right, Chalupa maybe, maybe didn't deserve it as much as Cocoa Puffs, with that dumbass song that he did. HAALAND, tiembla, que viene cucuré, or whatever the fuck he said. I'm crying, bro. Pep threw Couscous right away in a game of this magnitude. The guy doesn't even know how to communicate with his teammates yet. Yeah, he doesn't speak any English. One training session against a top 6 club at home at the Etihad. Okay, it wasn't like it was Stamford Bridge. It was the Etihad, okay? Majority of the fans, City fans honing in on you. That was such a crazy game to be your first ever game for the club. What a debut it was. Bad mistake, okay, obviously with the, with the assist, okay, and then obviously with the yellow card right after that. But the mentality that this Uzbekistan warrior had, this Uzbek warrior, this freak lion of a man, okay, had was exquisite. He bounced back like never before. We all thought it was going to be Woodgate in the opening 5-10 minutes, okay, but it was absolutely stupendous. You are not a City fan if you aren't backing Couscous, okay? Shout out to Nicholas Jackson there, because I did see him console Couscous a little bit during the game. So respect to Nicholas Jackson. I respect Nicholas Jackson, one of the most underrated strikers in the league. All right, I appreciate that so much. But Couscous, man, absolutely bodied him, man.
I should stay strong, but I'm weak.
And lastly, we're going to be talking about one of the teams of the season. Nottingham Forest is obviously there, but Bournemouth absolutely annihilated them 5-0 at their home stadium, at the Vitality Stadium. That was absolutely exquisite. This run right here is just absolutely astronomical. They, of course, are not showing the win against Manchester City at their home stadium. They beat us. They beat us pretty bad. Django, whatever his name is. First hat-trick from a player from Burkina Faso. That is legendary. Time travelers are real. You know why? Because this motherfucker triple captained him. How do you possibly... How do you think about that before finalizing your FPL team? How do you look at this and say, I'm going to triple captain? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes another episode of Football Twitter. Beautiful, beautiful result. 3-1 win against Chelsea Football Club. Of course, I had to celebrate wearing my Kai Havertz jersey. Regardless, Football Twitter is going to be back. Some match reactions, especially for this weekend, are going to be back. Arsenal versus Manchester City preview video for that. Reaction video for that. And I did see a video about a City and a Chelsea fan arguing on Sport Bible. I think I may make a video on that because this Chelsea fan is dumb as shit, and I'm going to expose him. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next time.